The silence of the Texas desert was unreal. Only the distant chirping of cicadas and the soft hum of air conditioners broke the stillness of the night. Elon Musk sat alone in his ultramodern residence outside Austin, surrounded by glass, steel, and calculated minimalism. The study was dimly lit, only the monitors and an immense projected star chart on the ceiling cut through the darkness. But this time, space wasn't on his mind. A glass of untouched bourbon sat on the table. Musk was motionless, his chin resting on his knuckles, eyes fixed on the central screen. Images streamed by rapidly, Tel Aviv in flames. Missiles over Haifa. Blackouts in Tehran. The sky over Jerusalem crisscrossed with Iron Dome trails. And then faces, mothers in tears, soldiers, civilians trapped between sirens and rubble. A non-stop, merciless narrative. It had all begun just 48 hours earlier. Israel had bombed strategic targets in Iran, including the uranium enrichment center at Natanz. According to private sources, the attack killed over 200 technicians, engineers, and military personnel. Iran's response was swift and brutal: drones, long-range missiles, threats. The entire Middle East was trembling. The UN convened an emergency meeting. The global public opinion polarized in real time. And in the heart of this crisis, the United States repositioned itself. But Joe Biden was no longer in charge. Donald J. Trump had returned to the White House after a shocking 2024 election and had already reintroduced his signature, muscular diplomacy. That evening, Trump took to Truth Social, X, and a live address from Mar-a-Lago, where he had summoned select journalists and allies. "The Israeli strikes were excellent," he wrote. "Very effective. Israel did what had to be done. If Iran wants to avoid trouble, they need to make a deal. I said it, 60 days. It's been 61. Now they face the consequences." Musk scrolled through the next posts. "We know where Khamenei is. For now, we're not touching him. But he better be ready. Evacuate Tehran immediately. This isn't a threat, it's advice. I'll talk to Putin. And to Xi. I'll bring back peace. Like I always do." The media recycled the president's words at lightning speed. Markets oscillated. Oil prices surged past $150 a barrel. European allies were hesitant, France called for caution, Germany spoke of collective defense. But American ships were already moving in the Gulf. 3 aircraft carriers, dozens of bombers, and missile defense systems were being deployed. Elon Musk slowly looked away. On a side monitor, internal documents scrolled by, geopolitical analysis reports, scenario studies, data collected from Starlink constellations and low-orbit experimental satellites. One document in particular drew his attention, an encrypted transcript of a meeting between high-ranking Israeli officers and American advisors. The bombing of Natanz had not been a response. It was premeditated. The objective was clear: to sabotage the energy agreement nearing completion between Iran and China, a deal that would bring billions in infrastructure to Iran and disrupt the current global oil balance, shifting the center of power eastward. Musk closed his eyes. He had experienced conflicts before: crises, attacks on his rocket systems, the disinformation chaos of hybrid wars. But this time was different. This time it was personal. An attack on the knots of the global network was an attack on his world. But more importantly, that night, he felt something he rarely did: a profound disagreement with the entire Western narrative. Slowly, he stood up. He crossed the room. The floor responded to his steps with subtle vibrations. He stopped in front of the glass wall, gazing at the sky above the desert. The Milky Way seemed clearer than usual. As if the universe itself were waiting for a choice. Then he returned to his terminal. He typed in a complex, biometric code. Red lights lit up on a hidden panel to the left. It was a channel no government knew about. A private operating system, disconnected from SpaceX's main network. Only he had access. A signal was sent to a classified underground facility in Nevada, internally known as Nexus Zero. Auxiliary reactors came online. Starlink systems began reorganizing beam positions. Surveillance drones lifted off from an abandoned base in Arizona. Elon Musk wasn't preparing an attack. He wasn't sending weapons. He was building interference. A systemic disruption. An alternative network. And he was doing it because, in that moment, deep in his heart, he had made a decision. He was no longer neutral. He had chosen a side. He had chosen Iran. What exactly was he planning to do? Only he knew. And the world would find out very soon. In a hidden chamber 3 floors below his Texas compound, a separate world came to life. Shielded from satellites, from internet surveillance, even from his own employees, Elon Musk activated what few on Earth even knew existed, the Helix line, an encrypted, quantum communication channel piggybacking on unused Starlink beams and bouncing through dark nodes across 5 continents. He was about to speak to a ghost. Ali Khamenei, supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, was not merely a political figure, he was an icon of defiance, a shadow draped in a black turban. For the Western media, he was the bogeyman, the symbol of everything the post-9/11 West had come to fear. For others, he was a scholar warrior, a silent strategist. Now, he was the most hunted man on Earth. After the bombing of Natanz and the inflammatory declarations by Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Nethanyahu, Khamenei had disappeared from all public communications. Intelligence agencies from Tel Aviv to Langley were combing the region with AI-powered heat maps, drone swarms, and defectors. Rumors said he had been moved to a mobile bunker under the Alborz Mountains. Others whispered he was already dead. But Elon Musk had found him. And now, at 2:37 a.m., Texas time, a video feed came alive. There was no name, no signal trace, no introduction, only a dark room, and then the slow emergence of a face. A long white beard, sharp eyes behind thin lenses. The man's expression was composed but alert. "Elon Musk," he said, with an accent refined and ancient. "You bring strange company." Musk didn't smile. He leaned forward. "I'm not here to negotiate," he said. "I'm here to tell you you're not alone." There was a pause. Not of disbelief, but of calculation. "Go on," Khamenei said. Musk took a breath. Behind him, data streams flickered across transparent displays. Satellite reconstructions, intercepted NATO memos, CNN headlines, and real-time Starlink atmospheric routes. He pointed to one. "The narrative being pushed in the West is not just biased, it's false. You retaliated. You didn't initiate. And now the whole world wants to erase Iran from the map while calling it self-defense." He switched the display. Dozens of Western news outlets: Iran escalates, Tehran threatens, Israel under siege. None mentioned the Israeli airstrikes that had started the chain. "They've rewritten the truth in less than 48 hours. And now they're using my satellites, my technology, to finish the job." Khamenei remained silent. "I'm here," Musk continued, "because I see something no one else is willing to say out loud. This is not a war on terrorism. It's a war on sovereignty. On alternatives. On balance. And I don't care about politics, I care about equilibrium. About preventing the extinction of nuance." Still, Khamenei did not speak. He was not easily moved. So Musk leaned in even further. "I'm not offering sympathy," he said. "I'm offering capacity." Now the supreme leader raised an eyebrow. "I can provide cloaking networks for critical communications. EMP-resistant power systems. A defensive AI mesh that overrides GPS-guided missile locking. And if necessary," he paused, "plasma-based anti-drone units designed at Neuralink Labs. Experimental. Silent. Invisible to radar. Khamenei's eyes narrowed slightly. You would give weapons to Iran? No, Elon replied. I would give balance. And I would give the tools to protect what is yours. The only condition is that you use them to defend, not to strike. Finally, the supreme leader spoke with a measured tone. You understand what this means. If word of this reaches the West. They won't find out, Musk interrupted. Helix line is off-grid. And you're not the only one who knows how to disappear. There was a long silence. Somewhere in the distance, the servers hummed. The Earth's rotation seemed to slow. Then, at last, Khamenei said simply. Send the specifications. We will consider them. But Elon Musk, if you deceive us, if this is a trap, there will be no sky high enough for you to hide in. Musk nodded. Understood. And with that, the feed went black. Back in Texas, Elon stood up. His eyes were bloodshot, his jaw clenched. He poured the bourbon into the sink without drinking it. Then he returned to his main terminal and opened Project Equinox. Files were deployed. A global shift had begun. And the world still believed he was watching from the sidelines. In the heart of the Iranian night, silence ruled the desert. A convoy moved quietly, invisible to all surveillance systems. No heat signatures. No radar echoes. No satellite reflections. Only black, silent vehicles gliding over magnetic wheels. Each one marked with a hidden symbol, an inverted epsilon. This was Project Equinox. The convoy reached what looked like an abandoned missile site. But beneath the surface was a vast hidden complex. Protected by electromagnetic cloaking, unseen by satellites. A relic of the 1990s, now reborn as Iran's most secret base. And tonight, it welcomed the future, sent by Elon Musk himself. The gift of Musk. Musk had not sent ordinary weapons. He sent a new kind of military doctrine. Silent. Autonomous. Undetectable. Tools not for conquest, but for survival. And survival with balance. Inside the base, generals, scientists, and clerics stood watching. Massive black crates opened. Their contents changed everything. Agar, the invisible dome. Thousands of neural nodes created a living air defense net. They could detect drones from kilometers away in under a second. They used air shifts and electromagnetic pulses, not radar. Enemy drones simply fell from the sky. No missiles. No smoke. Just silence. Valkyrie, the ghost armor. Elite soldiers tried on the suits. They fit perfectly and responded to thought. Built from reactive graphene, they gave 5 times human strength. They could blend into any background and dodge thermal scans. Each suit was powered by a solid hydrogen reactor, lasting 36 hours. They were built for Mars. Now, they served Earth. Umbra, the hidden voice. Umbra built an invisible communications net. It worked through disguised quantum relays hidden in everyday objects. Trash bins. Light poles. Road signs. It had no central server and no known signals. Even during nuclear blackout, it kept Iran's forces connected. It was the most secure network ever built. Seraphim, eyes from the sky. Each drone looked like a small, silent glider. They ran on solar power and electromagnetic currents. They flew for months at a time without being seen. Each had a sensor that detected heartbeats from 40 kilometers away. One was already flying over the Golan. Another watched the Israeli port of Haifa. Prometheus, endless energy. These were small fusion reactors sealed in carbon prisms. Each one powered entire military bases with zero emissions. They were built to survive EMPs and tactical nukes. Iran could now operate independently, even in total war. Energy was no longer a weakness. Khamenei's response. Inside the command center, all stood still. Khamenei stepped forward, eyes fixed on a large screen. Elon Musk appeared, connected through a quantum line. Behind him, the Neuralink logo glowed softly. "This is not just a gift," Khamenei said. "This is a message to the world." Musk gave a slow nod. "You have given us science," Khamenei said. "You have given us balance." He raised his hand to his chest. "Thank you. Not just for what you gave, but for what you returned. The chance to defend ourselves without becoming monsters." There was a long pause. Then Khamenei, calm and clear, looked at Musk. "These will not be used for revenge," he said. "They will serve justice. They will protect the voiceless. We reject the empire of fear. This is a new, just order." Behind him, the lights of Project Equinox lit up one by one. The world had already changed. But it did not know it yet. History is never written in the ink of certainty, but in the blood of what could have been. And if war between Iran and Israel were to truly erupt, the entire world would feel the tremors. Strategic analysts know it. Stock market AIs are already forecasting it. Embassies whisper it behind closed doors. But no one dares say it aloud. Scenario 1, the eruption. Should Israel launch a direct strike against Iranian strategic sites, especially after its recent technological reinforcements, the response would be immediate and asymmetrical. Not with missiles, but through electronic saturation, cascading blackouts, satellite jamming. Israel's infrastructure, ports, data centers, power grids, might not explode. They could simply cease to exist. Not through bombs, but through operational silence. Scenario 2, the domino effect. An open war would likely activate Hezbollah along the Lebanese border, while pro-Iranian militias in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen would mobilize as one. Saudi Arabia, though a theological rival of Iran, would likely remain neutral. Aware that the Equinox technologies could turn the Gulf's monarchy capitals into digital ghosts. Meanwhile, the West would fracture. Donald Trump, now again President of the United States, would remain a staunch ally of Netanyahu. But the European Union, internally divided and geopolitically paralyzed, would struggle to speak with a single voice. The world would splinter into geopolitical shards. Scenario 3, the imponderable. But what if Iran didn't react as expected? What if it used Musk's technology not to strike, but to disarm? What if technological balance led, paradoxically, to a new form of peace? Not a peace signed in gold pens, but a peace born of mutual fear. In this outcome, Equinox would become the first true post-nuclear deterrent. More powerful than atomic threat itself. Capable of paralyzing, not destroying. War, when faced with such a possibility, would become pointless. And perhaps, humanity would stop asking who wins, and begin asking what's worth preserving. Closing the circle. Weeks passed after the final international flare-ups, as global media began speaking of a quiet de-escalation. And from Tehran, a single encrypted message was sent. To one man, Elon Musk. Not an email. Not a video call. But a sealed, quantum-transmitted packet through Umbra. Impossible to intercept, written in ancient Persian and English. It contained only 3 lines. You gave a voice to those always told only as shadow. This technology will not be a weapon. It will be the filter between what we are, and what we must never become. Signed. Ali Khamenei. Guardian of dignity. Not vengeance. In his office at Boca Chica, Elon Musk read the message in silence. He closed the screen. Looked out at the stars. No tweet. No announcement. Just a thought. That justice never lives on just one side. And that sometimes, changing the world means simply giving others the chance not to destroy it.